everyone, and welcome to Anonymous Talks. Anonymous Talks is a platform where anyone can share their story anonymously for the purpose of helping others going through a similar experience. It is also a platform to have conversations and discussions to address topics, some of which are controversial. I'm your host, my name is Dana, and I'm also a life coach who loves helping people find the power within themselves. Today, we have an In the Mind of episode, In the Mind of Anxiety. Now, anxiety is a big topic that has different levels of severity. Most of us experience anxiety, but the degree to which we experience it and the degree to which it may impact our lives may vary. So, I don't mean to generalize when I say in the mind of anxiety. My guest used to suffer from anxiety. He then developed a resilient mind that helped him cope with adversity and unfortunate events. He is now a mindset coach who helps his clients with stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. He is also the founder of Mind Resilience Training, which helps executive entrepreneurs and business leaders overcome self-limiting beliefs and execute with heightened confidence, drive, and willpower. Sami, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about your anxiety first. How was it when you had it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a little bit about my background. I've worked in the corporate world, the agency world, startup. I started my own social enterprise. I've worked in the nonprofit world, mainly in the business development and marketing side of things. Did that for about 13 years. And for a very long time, even though I have had a great life, I'm blessed with my family and my health and education, during all those years, I felt I was suffering. I was suffering from anxiety, stress, feelings of low self-esteem, negativity, envy, and it just didn't feel right, obviously. I felt that there was something wrong. So I've always really been into personal development, and just over the last few years, I started diving into some more advanced fields such as philosophy, neuroscience, mindfulness, to really understand how the brain works and why do we react the way we do to stressful events or perceived threats. And after diving into those topics and learning what I learned, I really discovered that most of my stress and anxiety were illusions. They were hallucinations. They did not have a full grounding in reality. And that made me wonder, okay, so what is it that I have in my mind that is causing me this inner conflict and this inner struggle that is actually not really that true? And through more study and more observation of my own direct experience, I realized that it was my ego.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was the identity that I created for myself, that, okay, I am the Arab alpha male, or I have to be the Arab alpha male. I have to be right all the time. I have to be entitled. I have to be the popular one. I need to achieve and be recognized for my achievements. Basically, wherever I go, the red carpet has to be rolled out to me. This was the identity that I had adopted in my mind. Now, where did that identity come from? Is from so many years of social conditioning, programming, of people and institutions and education telling me, this is who you are, this is who you have to be.
So this is what caused your anxiety?
Yeah, exactly. What caused my anxiety was that I had to be something out of myself. I had to be something that was not truly aligned with who I am. It was not aligned with my nature.
Did it feel imposed on you?
It was imposed, but imposed implicitly or imposed with subtle messages. Nothing so direct, but I felt that, okay, if I was veering off this path of what I call the Arab alpha male, then it's like, oh no, but you shouldn't be doing that. You have to do things this way. You have to be more aggressive. You have to, put your foot down. You have to fight left and right. So I felt that if I was not moving in that direction of the kind of man that I wanted to be, then there was something wrong with me. And that's where the anxiety came from, that I had to be something that I'm not.
Okay. So how did the anxiety feel like at that point?
The anxiety felt, there's different types of feelings of not enough. That's the main thing, that I'm not enough. No matter what I'm doing, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. No matter what I've accomplished, there's always going to be more. Feeling that, comparing myself to other people where, okay, look at them, look how great they're doing. Why am I not like them? Why am I not as great as they are? And that anxiety, it was just constant overthinking, constant judging, constant figuring things out. Never really in a place of peace, never really in a place of inner stability. And it's funny, I really think about one of the main triggers of when I had anxiety, and it actually started affecting me physically, and I haven't really told this to many people actually, was when I was interviewing with Google.
Okay.
And I had about 3 or 4, 5 interviews, almost got to the end of the interview process. And it came to a point where there was an interview question that really threw me off. And I felt that because of that question, I was not able to answer it. I felt that I bombed the interview. And right after the interview finished, I started feeling all of this. I started feeling physical pain. I started feeling physical pains in my muscles, in my joints, in different parts of my body, because I was so devastated that I had failed at this interview, which obviously I did. I didn't get the job at Google. So it's amazing for me because I look back and I realized that experience proves what I believe is the main cause of a lot of our anxiety, is that we think we have a certain identity for ourselves, and we think that if I achieve, there is all to achieve with respect to this identity. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be in the right place. I am going to be fulfilled. I have won. And in this case, it was the Google interview that, okay, if I'm at Google, then I'm on top of the world. So that was one of the experiences that showed me that I'm trying to be something that is not me. I didn't realize it at the time. It was a few years later, after really digging deep into myself and figuring things out for myself.
Nice. From what I've heard is that the society kind of puts certain expectations on us and of what successful looks or sounds like. And then we have to simply go for it, and we need to achieve that in order to feel satisfied with ourselves. So here it came from both external that caused the internal expectation as well. Because I don't know if you felt like you disappointed people when you didn't get the Google job, or was it disappointing yourself? Is it 2 ways or is it 1 way for you?
Absolutely. It was 2 ways, because people told me that, wow, if you get a job at a company like Google, then you're set for life. And there may be truth for that career-wise, but that's not necessarily the case with inner fulfillment. So I internalized those messages and thought, okay, I am only good if I get into a company like Google. So yeah, it is a result of these messages that you get in society. It is a result of the conditioning that you get over so many years.
What would you, let's say someone who has anxiety and they don't know how to deal with it. What would be the first step to start dealing with it?
Well, first of all, you have to identify what are the triggers for your anxiety. Does it have to do with people? Does it have to do with your life plans and your goals? Does it have to do with wanting certain objects? That's the first thing. It's really having that self-awareness. What is causing me this anxiety? And then the second question you have to ask is why? Why is this anxiety appearing? And I might sound like I'm generalizing, but a lot of that anxiety comes down to fear. there's a certain fear in place. You are afraid maybe of what people might think about you. You are afraid of not getting promoted in your job. You are afraid of losing your iPhone and then, maybe missing out on what's happening in life. It really does come down to fear. And then what is behind the fear, again, it is feelings of inadequacy. Because if you already were fulfilled with yourself, if you already felt whole, then I'm sure a lot of your fear would go away. Then, after that awareness, you move on to acceptance. There are things that we have to accept in this world. There are things within your control and things that are not within your control. Your reaction, your response is always in your control.
Definitely.
Your willpower, your character, your soul is always in your control. The kind of person that you want to be.
100%.
There are millions of things that are outside of our control, which don't need to get into.
And they can affect us. But the thing is, we need to understand how we want to deal with them.
Exactly. And how we deal with them is very important. And the principle that I will start with is, just as you have physical fitness, you have mental fitness. Just as you go to the gym to work out and run and build your body, you also have exercises to work out and build your mind. Your mind is a muscle. The more you practice certain exercises, you practice certain perspectives, you remind yourself of certain truths about yourself and truths about this life that we all have to accept, that strengthens your mental muscles. And you have to start small. There are a lot of things that we're working on in ourselves. There are a lot of things that we want to improve in ourselves from a perspective of inner peace and happiness. Start with the small things. I believe in self-improvement, but I also believe that there are two types of self-improvement.
Okay.
There's one type where you are gaining things, such as, okay, I am going to build more muscle so I can be healthy. I am going to eat better food. Then the other type of improvement is removing things from your life.
Okay.
It is letting go. It is letting go of the negative habits. It is letting go of certain perceptions that you have of yourself, letting go of the perfect life that you've always envisioned, letting go of so many things. So
whatever is not healthy or is not working for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So that's also a type of self-improvement.
So we talked about how anxiety is triggered, right?
Yeah.
So the question is it emotions that come first that causes the anxiety, or is it a thought?
That's a great question. And there is a school of study within psychology. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. What CBT says and what CBT advocates is that our thoughts influence our emotions. And then our emotions influence our behavior and actions. So this school of thought focuses a lot on the fact that thought is creating the emotions. And there has been some debate about that, but there is a lot of research out there that says your emotions are coming mainly from your thoughts. And therefore, we have to work on how you are seeing yourself, how you are seeing the world around you, how you are making sense of what's happening to you. Because when you make sense of these things, that's going to affect how you feel about things.
If you were able to go back in time to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
I think about that question a lot, and it's really just two words: don't worry. Don't worry and be yourself. Yeah, that would be it. So 4 or 5 words. Yeah.
Cool.
Don't worry and be yourself, and really dive into your passions, dive into what you believe in, dive into yourself, understand the obstacles that exist within you, understand what is out there that can help nourish your soul. what is out there, whether it's a hobby or a job or certain types of art or anything out there that can connect you with who you really are, because we all have this creative expression, we all have this energy within us, and that energy needs to get out, and it needs to get out in the healthy way, it needs to get out in the right way. So understanding yourself and seeing what's out there in this world and engaging with that helps you nourish your soul.
Thank you, Sami, so much for your time, for sharing your story, and for the knowledge that you shared with us. It was my pleasure.
Very welcome. I'm very happy to be here with you talking about these things. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.